no-touch cleaning system called a IVAC, so it'll house that. It'll house the ball diamond drag, so we don't have to travel those. And a mower, so save travel time. The capital project matrix was given to you, and I do want to point out there was one clerical error that happened. The date for Jules parking lot expansion should be 2029 now. This is a change, though. I do want to point out to the board. I've talked to Brian Jordan about this, and we feel like we had 2027 on there up until this time, but we feel like where we're at with the budget and with our bonding capacity, we think 2029 is a better timeline for us to shoot for. We are going to do a little bit more in-depth look at that, and if we can decrease that timeline, we'll do that as well. But we want to be realistic with what we're talking about right now, and we think that's the best date to move forward with.
The matrix still says 26.
Right, that's a clerical error. I want to point it out to you guys.
Okay.
So that you guys knew. It should say 2029 for that. Master planning for the Jules project will be ongoing at some point this year. Well, we're still working through some of the final details, but that process will have a master planning process, which will include public input and look at the final choices and things. I think everybody will be pleased. Renovation here as well needed. It's a beautiful park, and it'll step it up a little bit.
Squished.
Yeah.
The parking spots are.
Yeah.
That's my technical term.
It's definitely one of the most requested things. I know Ken Kushner, the previous director, I heard it a lot as operations manager. People don't like the parking lot out here, so it is a very important project. So hopefully we can squeeze it in earlier, but we want to be realistic as well.
So Mike, and we talked about this a little bit, and Amy was there as well. There have been some comments that there was an expectation possibly that Laverty was going to result in some more parking in the parking area to relieve some of the parking on the street in the neighborhood. And you talked to Amy and me about that. Could you tell the world what's going on with the parking in Laverty?
Yeah, so the parking lot at Laverty, the engineers, when they looked at it, we do need to have ADA access into the park. And one of the only ways to have ADA access is to have a ramp that goes down from this new restroom facility down into the park. And it's a lot dependent upon elevations and things like that when you have the ADA access you need. So it does take up quite a bit of room to get that access for the public. I asked months ago for the engineers to look at and see what ways we can do to expand parking there. And unfortunately, at the time said there couldn't be really any expansion at all. Recently, I reached back out to make sure that I had everything I needed in order, and they looked at it one more time as a staff, Branstetter Carroll did. And they found a way to try to fit some spots in, 4 or 5 spots increase by using an old curb cut that was at the house location that Richard was just talking about. They're in the process of reaching out to the township to see if that's even possible zoning wise. Want to make sure safety wise that is good as well. So a lot of review would need to happen to add those 5 spots. So we'll look at the feasibility of that as well to see if it's at all possible. We will try to expand. But right now, even if we expand, it looks like it would be a gain of like 2 to 3 spots.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, folks? No?
No. Mike, when does it, Julie, I don't know what group you're talking about, said and raised some questions, but
Well,
I was
it's
asking.
not a group, just some people. I just
Okay.
heard it
So,
in the community.
I was just curious as to, Mike, when do we think that is a problem? How much is actually programmed at that?
So it's baseball, and when
Right.
baseball happens there, one of the problems is the age groups and the number of parents and grandparents that comes, right? So I believe there's 39 spots currently at Laverty Park in that parking lot. So the way we try to schedule it is to have enough space in between games where there's an hour cycle time. That's our goal. If a game runs late or what, that's the issue. So is there times where people have to park on the streets? Sure. And I'm sure that neighbors don't like that as well. So we try to schedule as well as we can to eliminate that. This last year, this fall, because of Riverside being out of play for construction, that had to step up at Laverty, and the play there increased. So this fall, last fall, neighbors probably seen an increase of volume of parking on the street that they probably didn't like. That should get better now that Riverside will be open back up.
That was gonna be my follow-up. Will that relieve some of the stress? Yeah.
Yes.
So what this all goes back to, Richard, is the capital improvement plan, the big boards we had and the Ps, the 5 or 6 Ps, whatever. And what was supposed to happen at Laverty was potties, restrooms, and parking improvements. And so some people thought that meant, way more parking, and that wasn't necessarily true. And so that's why we kind of went into it further with Mike,
Yeah.
and that's why we
Very
have this level of detail.
Yeah, no, very good.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we can't increase footprint unless we buy properties and tear down houses, and that's not in the works,
Yeah.
so.
Thank you.
Are we seeing any kind of increase in registration for the ball fields on Riverside now that we've done all this? How is that looking? I
So
I would think we would see at least the evening games as well with what
Yeah.
happened down on, Kellogg, those fields closing.
So Scott Lyman has seen an increase. So last year we had about 13 independent teams, plus all the standard ATYS, which is ACES, Little League, Challenger League. So this winter we shifted time frames for people to ask for their allotment, and we've now, I think we're at 23 independent teams that
Oh, wow.
have asked for
10 increase?
10 increase.
That's amazing.
Plus our normal play. So, but the increase with the fields at Riverside that has freed Scott up to allow more of those independent teams to see more allotment time, so they're able to get more of what they would like.
Great. That's awesome. That's great news.
Okay.
A lot of effort went in there.
Yeah. Oh,
It's good to see it
by
paying
everybody
off.
on the whole staff all the way through.
For sure.
All right, thank you very much. Next is the dry run sewer project, please.
This is the project I've been telling you about. And, there's really nothing new. I just wanted to put a placeholder because this will be before you guys over the next couple months. MSD will be reaching out any day to start the process for getting an easement from the park district to put in that dry run sewer branch. So we talked about it in the past, so I won't go through it all for you guys tonight, but you'll hear more and more of this going over the next few months.
Okay,
Great.
thank you. Next is the community engagement study. Kim, are you reporting?
Yes, so right now we are trying to put some dates together. The next process in this study is to do some site visits. Of course, because we're dealing with, I think we got like 9 or 10 of us on the steering committee, and trying to get 10 schedules all together is not as easy as you would think. So I don't know that the 3 dates that have been put out there are gonna work. So before I reach out to Pat, I think one of the questions I have is, if at least one person from like each entity, school board, township trustees, parks, can attend, should we just kind of move forward with that? Do you want to try to get 100%, get it 90? I mean,
don't think 100%.
It's impossible to get, it's like a
I don't think so either, but
So
I just,
think,
Turn
I
checks.
think Amy's opinion counts a ton because she's been with this since the beginning. So Amy?
Well, also I wanted to say, I filled out your doodle poll,
yeah,
and I wanted to say, like, don't base this on me. Because I've been to most of these facilities just with my own kids.
oh, okay.
So I don't want you to, if I can't make it, that's okay. I can go also at another time. But
Okay,
We can hold the fort.
maybe just messaging or seeing what you get back, and then messaging the leadership at each entity and saying, are you okay if we just have 2, or I just, everyone is not reasonable.
and because it's a full day, makes it even.
I mean, that's really hard for me to do a full day.
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay, and I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yep, so that's why I just figured, so I'll give Pat a
Yeah.
call and be like, because even like the current, I don't know that we would even get like a decent amount.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
Yeah, and I think too, it was like kind of a quick
Well,
turnaround.
and another option really is a self-guided tour. So I mean,
You can
we-
certainly do that too.
we could lay out some options of people to visit and, go on your own to check these out. I mean, a lot of it is just looking at the sheer amount of land and parking that's
Mhm.
associated with a building. And this is, say, a 10,000 square foot building, and this is the park, so, I mean, even just that. And I would do that on my own.
Yeah,
No
and
problem.
I think one of the things, the hope was like as we travel from place to place is like there's that conversation. It's like, hey, we were just at Springdale and like, here's what they had, here's what they have to offer. What do you like? What do you don't like?
Yeah.
And just kind of start forming those, but we can certainly do that. in
Yeah, I
another
mean, that would be
meeting
the
as well.
ideal. And then from there, we just try to engage as many people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I think one representative at least from each group would be really good.
Okay.
Would be better. But I like the idea of us all hearing the same thing at the same time, asking the same questions, not just asking the same questions, but asking questions, hearing the same answers, having conversation
Mm-hmm.
on the way to the next place. I think that is probably a better way to do it if we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll put it back out there and see, and maybe because I created a doodle poll, I'm like, okay, well, it's just 3 days and it's all day. So I'm like, that's not necessary. It may be just like, hey, here are 3 dates in an email, and park board spoke. Here's, if we can't get everybody together, please share. If for the school boards, well, for park board, it's like if everybody can make it, but Amy can't, Julie can, you've already expressed like, I'm good. So if each entity can kind of share those same
Yeah,
And
feelings.
certainly independent visits are fine too.
Okay.
Like Wendy said she did that one.
Yes.
Wendy.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's perfect. Yep, so we'll keep moving forward on that. And then we're hoping to have Pat come in. He'll present that final report to the park board. He was talking February. I don't know if we're going to be able to make that. So if not, then it'd be March. So at least that way we have the completed final report study done. And without a doubt, this process will continue because we've heard what community would like to see, and then we just have to kind of start working through the results and see what can be done for the future.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next is Anderson Day Festival. So I'm just gonna ask what the will of the group might be here. I think we're gonna have probably another robust discussion on this. And I can go any way on this, I'm just bringing it up because I think I should. I think there are some people here tonight that are here that want to talk about this. And I didn't realize this until I sat down tonight, shame on me, that the public to address the board comes later. I guess my question is,
You're right, but the vote comes down here.
okay, so are we okay,
So,
are we
it's
okay
after.
just doing it the way we're doing it? Amy's right. Are we okay doing it the way we're doing it, having our discussion now? And then hearing the public and then the vote later? Order's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I believe that's the right order.
I believe it is too. Just didn't want it to go by without us all.
No, I don't want to hear, I want to hear.
You don't want to hear from anybody.
I want to hear from them prior to the vote.
Got it. Perfect. All right, so let's
Because we're filling
begin.
in blanks.
Yes, let's
Sorry, I
begin.
moved you.
No, that's okay. I can remember it. We're talking about the Anderson Day Festival. So, so we're in a kind of interesting situation here, even internally. So before Mike took over as interim director, Kim was interim director, and Kim had recommended before on the last agenda that this board support both Anderson Day and Oktoberfest. And we had a pretty lively discussion. Richard wasn't here, but I think Richard knows what happened, and obviously we can all listen to the tape. We agreed at the last meeting to support Oktoberfest with our staff and whatever resources we need to. But we tabled Anderson Day because the foundation was set to have a subcommittee look at what they wanted to do, make a recommendation to the full foundation board, and then the full foundation board discuss what they wanted to do. And all that has since happened. As of last week, the foundation voted 3-2 to support Anderson Day for this coming year. But they can't do it without us. They need our staff. That's our primary purposes are we provide the staff and we help fill in wherever there's a need for more volunteers. We fill the gaps. So that's sort of what the status of it now. Mike has expressed publicly that he's not in favor of continuing Anderson Day as it is. Kim maintains that we should. And I know we've had, again, robust discussion on the board, so I think it would be, this is not Mike's recommendation. This is a continuation of a discussion started by Kim. So I think, Kim, maybe you should start if that's okay. All right? Is that okay, Mike?
That's fine with me.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean,
I
that's,
do want to express a thought though after she's done.
okay, well, sure, you can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that whenever you
sure.
like. Okay.
Yeah, so at the last meeting, because I know Amy had asked about like if we have taken a look at the expenses and like how we can like, do savings or whatever. We hadn't yet, only because we weren't sure what was going on. So myself and a couple other staff members kind of just went through, and it just kind of see like where some things like right off the top we feel that we could probably get rid of. It's not a priority, it's not like definitely necessarily needed. And it's part of like one of the attachments on your forward docs, but it was close to $9,000 where we felt, and the biggest was in the postcards, the designing, the mailing, the designing. So we used to send postcards to everybody in Anderson Township, and we feel we've got a good, following on social media, word of mouth, with a foundation, we could be able to get the word out. So that's not something that we need. But so like we just went through and just like, all right, where are some things that we can save money, because again, it is the foundation's event and it's their expenses and revenue, but we certainly want to support that they're not taking a hit every single year as well. So that's why we, kind of started there. And then the conversation went, because then again on the park side is staffing. So taking a look at, I think we've learned from Oktoberfest, some of the things as far as parking, the way we run the event, the setup, how we, like our staff time there is, it used to be all hands on deck. It's like everybody's there. I don't think that we have to operate that way anymore. We can run in shifts. Jess and her volunteers have done an amazing job of like really kind of narrowing down where we need where we need people. If we get rid of one of the beer booths, that eliminates volunteers, and then potentially more staff that we might need on hand. We were looking at eliminating, or the pink parking was always for, was it volunteers?
There were staff, volunteers, and the public.
Okay, thank you. So if that is not necessarily a designated parking lot, we don't need the parking passes, we don't need the signs, and we certainly don't need parking attendants, and generally that's been paid staff that has been there. So we're down to just one parking lot that we would need staffing for, and Jess is working out, and she's gonna talk with one of a volunteer group to see if that's something the Citizens on Patrol, it's something that they do for events all the time, that they can handle this if they're able to staff it a little bit. That would also cut down on staff time that day. So I think it's just a matter of taking a look at the event as a whole. We've already started kind of looking at it and the philosophy of what, the park board would like to see. The taxpayers paid into an operating levy. They believe in our park system. And so some things are subsidized. If across the board, there are many things that are subsidized by the operating levy and the park board, whether it's program, events, fields, projects, stuff like that. It's just, no matter whether we have this event or our staff is going to be there Monday through Friday. These things are just kind of a cost of doing business. We're not charging back toilet paper, paper towels, lights, the building. It's there no matter what. So, and again, I will continue to emphasize, I feel this is a large community event. It's a signature event that Anderson residents have looked forward to year after year after year, and why we decide to cut it without at least giving it one last year where it's like, if these are the concerns, then let's really take a look at it and see what we can do. The event continues to evolve. At the end of every summer we sit down, we talk about Anderson Day. It's like, hey, what went well, what didn't go well, are there changes that can be made? And I think this is the year that we make those changes that we've been talking about. And I think too, it's also on that document, we put together some ideas for fundraising. So again, and I keep pointing out this way, Luke is here, the foundation, we're not picking on you, you just happen to be here. And hopefully you'll say something after a little bit too. Because he's been part of the discussions on the foundation side, but the foundation's big role for Anderson Day is raising funds. That's raising funds and doing the sponsorship packet and getting volunteers. So to kind of help them, I was like, hey, here's what we're looking at, here's some ideas. Have we tried this yet? So a lot of people join the foundation board because they've got a background in fundraising. So it's like, well, let's see what we can do and really make this, and if you want to say like evened out event for this year, and then move it towards if we can make some money. So they did talk a little bit about combining Anderson Day and Oktoberfest, and I don't think that's anything. You're just going to add expenses to Oktoberfest. So that's not going to really, and they're two separate events as well. So I think that's pretty much where I stand. I'm happy to answer any other questions, but.
So first off, I appreciate the efforts that were made to make cuts. You heard the concerns, so I appreciate all the efforts that's gone in here so far. So with this plan so far, right off the bat, you know you can cut 9,000 right off the top
Correct.
with just what you have here.
Correct.
Got it? And so that would pretty much put the foundation at breakout even or down $1,000, right? With just that, that's nothing, without any of your possible other ideas.
Correct.
Okay. And I totally understand the new township leadership hasn't even had a full 2 weeks in there yet. But I mean, has there been communication with them to see if they can?
It
do anything
hasn't.
yet?
No, that's going to be
Got
kind
it.
of the next conversation.
Got
So
it.
the township is involved, so they pay for the shuttle bus.
Got it.
But my opinion, I feel that they can probably do more.
Got it.
So
Which would be great.
it would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, but I think that's something that, we do need to talk to them about, just like, how would you like to get involved more in Anderson Day? Because it is a community thing. And we talked a little bit too about like maybe the school board. It's not like saying the school district should pony up some funds, but they can certainly support somehow too. So changing leadership everywhere, so might as well ask.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions of Kim?
My biggest concern is losing Mercy, where that was a big chunk for us. What is the approach to replace that significant sponsorship?
That's
Do we have
something that, we don't, another organization reached out to me, but I put them on hold because I'm not sure what the decision has
Anyone
been.
can move forward?
Yep.
Is it a similar?
It could be a similar.
Okay.
But I think that's something too that we just like, we
It's
talked.
important to know, because if we lose, it's great to save the 9,000, but if we lose $10,000 from Mercy, then we're not really gaining much.
Sure,
there.
yep, but then we also know that that was the case, and we were
Right.
losing Toyota, but I think there's still, like, if you look at the chamber newsletter, there's businesses coming into Anderson
Yes.
all the time, so to reach out to them.
Great.
And again, just kind of, then the foundation has a new member, Sean, who is full of life and energy, and he gets the whole sponsorship
Great.
thing, so
Okay.
I think it's just a matter of like, all right, hey, let's go all in and get this done.
So, unless you disagree with me, before we begin our sort of more in-depth board discussion, is it okay if we hear from Mike? Because Mike.
Oh, sure.
asked us
Yes.
to- Okay, Mike?
And I'll be real brief. So you pointed out last month, I publicly said it, I want to make sure I'm clear. I'm not against large community events. I think they're great. We've always had one, which was Anderson Days. Last year, because of our 50th and people coming to us in the community, we had the second event, which was Oktoberfest. Worked out great. My public comment last month was from an operational standpoint. We added the second event, which adds hours to the operations department. Every year we're adding new things in the parks through the capital levy. Those things need maintenance, things get older. So there's increased strain on operational hours. And we don't increase the staffing levels there. We try to maintain those to make sure our budget works well. So that's my point of view coming from an operational standpoint, was my public comment last month. Saying that, we'll, as an operations department, whatever this board decides, we'll get behind 100%. I've had the pleasure this week to be a part of the foundation meeting. I watched you guys last month. They're strong, thoughts both ways, and I can see it both ways. So I don't envy you guys and the decisions you have to make. So, but that's where my public opinions come from last month. So just wanted to point that out. I look forward, if we do go forward with Anderson Days, I'll work my hardest to make sure that it works out for the foundation and the park district. So I just wanted to put my thoughts in there so nobody could misconstrue what I said last month was me being against anything event-wise for the park district.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike before we discuss? Who would like to speak first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I mean, I think hearing what Kim has just talked about, the big thing for me last month, as you know, was whether or not the foundation was going to be supporting this. I was a no-go if they weren't. That was going to be, I didn't feel like that was going to be the way to go if you guys weren't on board. So I'm happy to hear you are. So I stand by what I said last month. If the foundation's on board and we can find ways to reduce the cost of this event, because $40,000 is unacceptable to me. We have a lot of other things we need to worry about that $40,000 could go to. But it sounds like you guys are working very hard on that and trying to find a more efficient, better way. And if we can increase our fundraising and offset some of that cost, I feel that I would be willing to give this one more year to see if we could realign ourselves with what the goal was from the very beginning of this whole thing, was a community event, but also make it, somewhat, I don't care if we're making money, but as long as we're not losing $40,000, I'm okay with it. So that would be my take.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question for Kim?
Okay, sure.
And Mike,
Sure,
you can
sure,
chime
sure.
in too if you'd like. So,
Yeah.
So let's say the vote it passes tonight. Do you have any kind of details on what your plan is to? So if you bring in money, but let's say the amount of money you bring in isn't what you were hoping and was only $3,000 or $4,000. To my understanding, the event would still go on, and then we would still lose around $30,000, $25,000. Is that correct?
So
Yes.
we wouldn't, the
foundation.
foundation, the foundation would lose money. The park would just have the staff amount that we would spend, but the foundation would be responsible for the other portion. They have some undesignated funds, from what I understand, to cover those losses, so that would be the foundation's loss.
Got it. Is there a ballpark from 27,000 going down to? Do we know?
That we don't know.
Okay.
So what I did was I just kind of broke it up. It's so the day of, here's what, here's day of event, staffing and what it costs, part-time, full-time. And then, not that I eliminated or discounted the setup, all the hour, we had operation hours set up, but we didn't necessarily have, because recreation has set up as well. So it's just a matter of hey, as a board, do you want us to track the setup, the cleanup? But then, so that we wouldn't know until we got closer, just because I don't know. I can throw out a number, but I'd be off.
Understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Next, anyone?
I believe we're being just a little disingenuous when we sell this as a fundraiser. I have some concerns about that because I'm not sure who it's raising funds for. If the foundation is subsidizing it and the park district is subsidizing it, it sounds more like a community event than a fundraiser. I'm not aware of any other single community event for a single day that costs this amount of money. It's tough. It's a tough decision. I understand the emotion behind the history of it. I served on, along with Mike, and worked on this event for over 17 times when I was with the township. I remember when it was Anderson Days, and we started on Friday afternoon and ran till 10 o'clock on Sunday nights.
Mhm.
And it was full go, people all the time.
Right.
The only thing you prayed for was weather. And we're still at a weather prayer. If you get bad weather, last year it was extremely hot. If we all remember, there was a lull at the beginning of it because it had to be like 95 in the shade. And then it picked up in the evening, which was good. So I think when we start to look at this at the whole, again, for me, while I have some emotions to it, I also have to look back and say, it's a math thing. If we can get this to where it's breaking even, where somebody else is paying for it, I'm not anti having the event in any capacity. My intrepidation comes with calling it a fundraiser and then paying it through subsidies and it being the largest event we pay for. I also was struck by this thought. If I walked into a bank with a business plan for this event, would anyone give me the money? We have lost a lot of supporters, and big supporters, not just little ones, but big ones. Our volunteerism is down. Our attendance is down. We've carved it back from 3-4 days down to 1 day. We've carved out rides. We've carved out everything we felt like we could. Now we're talking about carving out a beer booth, which is probably one of the only things that we do make money on at the event. Just the whole thing makes me look, and I hope I've articulated that well enough to show you my concerns. But those are my concerns. I appreciate all that other people talk, but those things there make me go, wow, what are we holding on to? And the new event was successful, which helps. We did talk about eliminating this event last year. Felt like it was the wrong year to do it because it was our 50th anniversary. And we wanted to give people a last thing. And then hopefully, the other thing is we were trying Oktoberfest. We didn't know it would be successful. We have no clue it'll be successful this year, really. I mean, it's a crapshoot, right? And it's a one-day event. But it actually raised funds. And there's a little bit of a difference there for me. So I've said my piece, and you guys can take it from there.
I think those are all legitimate concerns, Richard. I have one question. You started off by saying if we're selling this as a fundraiser, I don't know who is doing that and what that means. Are you saying that the foundation is selling it as a fundraiser, or the park, I'm asking Richard, or the park district is selling it as a fundraiser, or just it's general knowledge that it's being sold as a fundraiser?
I'm pretty sure when people give their donations, they believe they're giving it as a fundraiser to either the parks or the foundation.
You mean when they
They do
pay for a ride, they think that?
No,
I'm
when Toyota sponsored the fireworks for
Got it.
$15,000.
Okay.
When the Healthplex, or Mercy sponsored, for, I believe they were at 10 grand, Amy. Those people believe there was a fundraiser or at least a support for this event. And it is, but at the end of the day, when that event now is approaching, I don't know, where were we at? Like, did I see a number 75,000 or something? And then we back off all the other stuff we bring in, the money and the sales and the events. Is it fair to call it a fundraiser? I mean, would anyone run a fundraiser and lose money? And if you did, I don't know that you would do it more than once. So I just question the logic of it, that's all. You had something, Amy?
The website for both the Anderson Foundation and the Anderson Parks does name it as a fundraiser, and
Okay.
funds support the parks.
Okay. So I'm gonna be, I don't know, this is, the thought I just had when you said that is, funding can mean different things. Funding can mean funding the spirit of the event or funding a community event. It doesn't necessarily mean making money when it's a fundraiser, in my opinion. That may be putting too fine of a point on it, but that's what I think. But I'm gonna save my greater comments until the end. Like, I don't wanna stop your flow. So Kevin or Amy, it's your floor.
I don't think I have anything else to add.
Okay, well, you may after Amy talks,
Sure.
okay? Let's do it that way. How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not really sure what I can add beyond what I shared last month from the numbers that Brian gave me in terms of the revenue being reduced year after year after year. And, you know, in 2024, I was responsible for bringing in $12,000 of the sponsor money. I myself donated $1,000. I got the chamber to donate $1,000, and then Mercy, upon hearing me pitch it to the chamber, decided that they wanted to do their $10,000. That was the only time they had sponsored it, one time. And I had a meeting with Kathy to understand, you know, sort of, because everybody was saying that they weren't renewing, and so I wanted to know why, so that we could fix it. And she said that some commitments that were made weren't honored. So when the Fireman's Festival came up, that was more in alignment with the hospital, with the paramedics and the fire, and so they decided to do that. And they have a right to do that, and they like to make sure that their money is used throughout. So, you know, from my perspective, as a sponsor of the event, I was disheartened to find that it wasn't a fundraiser, that consistently year over year, money wasn't going back to the parks, which is what I thought. So I would rather see, with that said, you know, and I donate a lot of money to the Forest Hills Foundation as well, and different events at the chamber. And so I believe that sponsors truly want to know that money is making it back to the entity that they are sponsoring. And I feel like that's a big deal. I know that that's why I didn't renew my sponsorship. I think Mercy had some different reasons. And, you know, the other thing is, you know, Kim, you made mention that we have people on the foundation board that have a background in fundraising. And I think the people that were involved in fundraising were the ones that said that this was not a good idea to go on again. So, you know, the board is in place to be stewards of the taxpayers' money. If this weren't something substantial that we needed to vote on, if it weren't a substantial amount of money, if it weren't a substantial financial commitment, we wouldn't be asked to make this decision. But it is a substantial item, and we do need to be mindful of the money. We did just pass a levy. That was a reduced levy. We need to come up with $2 million in deficit for that. The inside millage is in jeopardy in terms of the way that our property taxes are assessed and the way that we get that income. So that could be in jeopardy for our income. You know, we're talking about the survey and what to put on Beech Acres. And, you know, everybody wants a pool, and a pool would be great, but a pool doesn't break even most of the time. So I'm just very conservative with money and other people's money, because I work with other people all the time to spend their money. And if every decision we're making is we're only gonna lose so much money, or we're, you know, breaking even, you know, it's not always about making money, but when we have an opportunity to raise money and we're not raising money, does it make sense to take 700 hours of our staff for this when we have 280 other events happening in the park every year? So we're still making memories. And, you know, in a further conversation with the foundation, I was learning, and I told you this morning, that the a foundation can raise money in different ways. And I love the idea that you had that there's tonight, but they can raise it through events, they can raise it through individual giving, they can raise money through grants. And the foundation, from what I'm understanding, wants to explore individual giving and grants because they've never done that before. And having 2 events doesn't really, those are volunteers, so it doesn't really give them the time to focus on those additional opportunities to raise money. And that individual giving and the grants are a higher return on investment. Less time, less expenses, more return on that money. So, I just look at it from the outside looking in and the perception. I'm so grateful that we have other amazing events that our parks does for a variety of different people. And I just have to think about what would be the highest and best use of that money for Anderson. And have a really hard time with the idea of spending $15,000 to blow it up in the sky for 30 minutes. It just makes me really uneasy right now in this economy that we would be pushing for that at a deficit or at a loss.
Does that mean the fireworks?
Yeah, the fireworks.
Okay. Where's the metaphor or something, whatever.
Jeff, not only did we lose the 10,000 from Mercy, but this year 15,000 less also from Toyota for the fireworks. So that's 25,000 total. In a year where it's going to be hard to fundraise because of the economy. So that's all I have. Thank you for your consideration.
Are you inspired to say something else?
I mean, just to my earlier point, I guess my concern is, since the money is not guaranteed right now, and the vote being tonight, that's where my concern is. And the foundation vote, and I'm not trying to correct you, it was 4-3, I believe,
Oh,
not
thank
3-2.
you.
And it
Oops.
was the
My bad,
3,
sorry. Luke's correcting me too back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
The 3 members on that foundation who are a nonprofit, their concern was that they wanted to be good stewards of donor money, and that was their reason for no. And I think that's a valid
That's
opinion.
helpful.
So just one point about the foundation and their fundraising. Actually, I think we're all kind of soft. Every organization I've ever been involved with is always soft on the grants thing. We always say we can do better with grants. You hire a grant writer, whatever, and still there's always a need. If the foundation seeks grants, I think that's great, but they do have a robust individual giving campaign. They're very intentional about it. There's levels of giving. There's little rewards given, and I don't mean by saying little that they're unimportant, because they're very important. But and that was started a long time ago, and through the last administration before Tiffany took over as president, it really ramped up. And Tiffany's sort of new still, but it's still a viable program. And if Luke speaks, he can speak to that if he'd like. So, if you all feel at this point that you have said what you'd like, I'll speak. And I actually wrote down sort of an outline because I didn't want to forget anything, because I think this is too important to not put it all out there. So what I began with was looking at our mission statement, which says, Anderson Park District is dedicated to provide Anderson Township residents with quality parks, facilities, and programs. That's it. Very simple. Very simple. So value or quality doesn't always equate to profit or making money. Success can be measured by events reflective of our mission. And I think that's what we need to keep looking at and thinking about as we take this vote as our mission. Anderson Day is the signature event of the Park District. It's the one day we all, senior citizens, families, teenagers, I'm big on the teenagers thing because I love seeing those teenagers and college students walking around and being themselves. Kids, friends and neighbors all gather to celebrate our community. It's the one day that we all do that. We just passed an operating levy in November. We're a little over 2 months beyond that, and we're thinking about taking away this signature event. which is the most troublesome thing to me of all. And here's why it's the most troublesome. Not just because we just passed the levy and our community said, we love you, we support you, but we're doing it without getting any input from the community. And we spent the last over 2 years emphasizing how we're stewards of the taxpayers' money and we need to go to the community and get their opinion. And we went through so many machinations and so much work on who's gonna pay for the consultant and how are we gonna do this, on what we're gonna do with Beech Acres, right? So we did that, and to just do this without getting input from the community is inconsistent with, and I would say disingenuous with how our efforts are for the Beech Acres property. We have a very specific process in engaging the community on Beech Acres through surveys, forums, hiring a consultant, again, to engage the public. And we're just completely not even thinking about them when we're doing this. We're just doing it. That's so wrong. This is a foundation event. We provide the staff and help with securing the volunteers to work. I think it's Jess that said we fill in the holes, or Kim maybe said it. The foundation voted last week after robust discussion. There was discussion one night, and then they weren't quite ready to vote. Some of the members weren't there, so then Kevin was there, and I was there, and Kim was there, and Mike was there from Parks. They voted to, came to a consensus to have a vote the next night, I think it was. The next night? Yeah. And they had it. Again, more robust discussion, and it passed 4-3. And I don't care whose background is whose, it passed 4-3. So that's what the vote was. And the way I understood the vote was, we're gonna do this, we're gonna support it. We absolutely 100% need the parks to give us the manpower, but we're also going to look hard at the costs and how we can reduce the costs. And Kim and Becky Erickson already did that. They took a first shot at it. Again, it's a first shot, and they did a really good job of identifying approximately $9,000. And we're also, Foundation, we're also gonna possibly reimagine what it looks like after 2026, 27 and beyond. Give us that year to do those two things. Cut the costs and reimagine it. Don't just rip, my term, rip it out from under the public. And I mean, what confidence would the voters have in us if we just did this without engaging them? I wouldn't have any confidence if I were a voter. So the foundation is asking us to continue to provide the staff. And we should follow the foundation's lead on this. It's their event. Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest was awesome. Jason Brewer is amazing. The committee was amazing last year. The event, for a first year event, was as good as it probably could have been. The social the night before, that was a great success. And then the next day was the event. There's an active committee already planning for this year. I think it'll only get bigger and better, which is great. But a one-year event does not equal a track record of success. It just doesn't. It's been 1 year. And as a reason for tossing Anderson Day, because we have this new event, to me, that doesn't make any logical sense at all. And besides that, they're two separate events. They do two separate things. Anderson Day is largely family-oriented, kid-oriented. Oktoberfest, unless it significantly changes in it, it can have that growth. It's adult-oriented. It started out basically, and I don't mean this disparagingly, I'm not a beer drinker, so don't think I'm making this disparagingly, but as sampling of local breweries, their beer, and some music, and a dog race, which all of that was great. Will there be more games and stuff this year? I hope so, and I think so. But again, don't toss away Anderson Day because we had 1 year of success of making $2,000 with Oktoberfest. My recommendation, one person of 5 for sure. Let's support Anderson Day with our staff this year. Let's cut costs as much as possible And let's, in partnership with the foundation, possibly reimagine Anderson Day for 27 and beyond. That's it. Anything else? Evan? Amy?
Good.
Mike or Kim? Anything else?
Nope.
So I have to leave in a few minutes, I'm sorry. I have to, so I don't wanna move, is it okay if I go out of order and talk now? Cause I have to leave and pick my kids from volleyball, but I don't wanna
I'm okay.
break any norms here.
I'm okay with that.
I think
Yes.
as a foundation member,
Yeah,
it makes
absolutely.
sense for him to
I
add to
am
this.
100%, I was looking at
He
you
could
all.
be on it, he could be.
Please.
Okay, I apologize for.
Please,
words.
no.
That's right, but,
You have to introduce
So-
yourself just so
So yeah,
everybody knows who
I'm
you are.
Walczewski, and I'm on the foundation. I've been on the foundation for about 7 years. I agree with, Julie said a lot of my personal thoughts in this conversation much more eloquently than I can. For me, the Anderson Day, if we can make money on it, that's great. But part of our mission is not just hand dollars over the parks. Our mission is to support the parks, support their mission, to support parks and recreation in Anderson Township. And this event in itself is part of that mission. Holding this event is part of our mission, right? That's not to say that we have to hold this event. And it could be that in the future we consolidate these events. So, but that's part of my point is like holding this event is part of meeting the mission of our foundation. Secondly, I have major concerns, as Julie mentioned initially, about the process for coming to this decision. Richard, you mentioned that Anderson Day used to be a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Back pre-COVID in 2019, we have been getting feedback from people in the community. Anderson Day feels stale. It feels like I go there, there's only a handful of people, it doesn't feel like a thing. So we decided, let's give it a shot to change from 3 to 1 days to try and make it feel like an event. You get people there on the same day. You know, when people are there, it's a critical mass, it feels like a party. And that's what we're going for. But we didn't arrive at that just us discussing a foundation. We created a whole community survey that we sent out through our database, that we have the parks send out through their database. We have hundreds of responses from community members asking, how do they feel about Anderson Day? What would they like to see changed by Anderson Day? And we have gone through none of that process for this decision right now. So that's one of the biggest drivers for me is I don't feel that we have given the correct process to remove this event that has been a cornerstone event of our community for much longer than I've been here. So those are my main points moving into this. Sorry.
Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Lou.
Okay. Shall we move on? Yes. All right, next is organization chart review.
I'll leave this up to Kim. She
Oh.
handles the HR, so.
Yeah, so, usually, at least annually, the park board, just reviews the organization chart. This has just been an odd, if you wanna call it like, less than 12 months, that you're reviewing it 3 different times. We've had just 3 different leadership. So, that is a copy of the new organization chart and the changes. So it's just like, hey, this is more of an FYI, nothing that needs to be voted on. It's just something that you'll look at.
I have one question.
Yeah.
It says operations administrative assistant and vacant.
Correct.
What did that say last time?
Linda Starrett.
Okay, so she retired?
Yeah. She,
Okay.
back in December, that was her last day.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. That's a good question.
But that's the only vacancy on here.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
we're in the process, and you'll see next month, we do have 1 full-time operations
Mm-hmm.
open, but we're in the process of finalizing that position. So then we
And
should be
so
full
that
staffed.
name would go under operations specialist?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Sorry.
welcome. No worries.
Thank you.
So we're still light there, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're looking to fill that position after the board lifted the hiring freeze, I think November, so that's gonna be coming soon.
All right,
Well, while we did lift the hiring freeze, I think it was our intent to carefully look at every position
Without a doubt, yeah.
to make sure that we don't get into a budget creep situation and to determine the need for each and every position as they come up.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where you and Kim come into play by giving us clear guidelines on what each position does and their role that they play. Not only for full-time, but for part-time. Obviously, part-time people are in a different category than full-time with overhead, so, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Pardon me, calendar of events, January and February. Jess?
So in January, obviously, our new year, we've kicked off our classes, gotten going again. So this week was kind of the first full week of classes. I know actually one of the popular class we have is Home Alone, that's taking place tomorrow night. And then our Cornhole League start up also next week. We have 2 divisions, beginner and experience. And I believe both of those are full.
They always are.
So, and then in February, obviously, the big event is our daddy-daughter dance, which takes place on Saturday, February 7th. And we also will be getting our volleyball league starting in February as well.
I have a question. On our mental health meeting this morning, the Art Collaborative was on there, and I guess they're struggling to find places to host any kind of events, to do things. Is there any way we can assist them with any of the locations we have? Is there any way the rec center could accommodate a day a week or something for them, or to be able to get them to be able to do something a little bit more consistently? They were just mentioning it this morning, so I'm just reaching out to you because you know the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, I would need to talk to them to find out what their needs really are. Is this like a meeting of their group? Is this
Just to do like art events where they would be hosting an art event and inviting the community and people in the community to come and participate in doing whatever it is they're doing that particular day involving art as
I would
kind
be
of a
happy to
mental
talk to
health thing.
somebody about what our openings look like and see if that works for them.
So they need space and.
Yeah, and she was mentioning that they've been trying to find some space, and I know they have reached out about, you know, the future of Beech Acres and whether or not they can be involved in any way with space there, but at the same time, we don't know when that's going to be.
I think it'll be about timing because again, if they're looking for an evening, probably not.
Probably not?
Like we're
Okay.
full. We have afternoon times, it just depends on how.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll get you in touch with her and see if there's anything we can do to help. I mean, I don't know if there is, I just wanted to throw it out
And
there.
we work with them quite a bit, like for our art fair, they come
Yes.
to our, so I'm familiar with, if it's Nancy.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes, okay.
her and I can communicate.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, they've been around and they're good people for sure. Next on new business is, pardon me, Ohio House Bill 335. Brian?
Yeah, I was just gonna give an update. This was signed into law in December. It caps the increases in inside millage collections to the rate of inflation. So the bill requires the county budget commissioners to adjust the rate of each inside millage levy so that it does not grow by more than the sum of the 3 previous years of inflation, where before it was tied to the property value when it got reevaluated.
So what's the practical effect?
Practical effect from here on out, inside millage will just be going up by the rate of inflation.
Okay.
But
So it'd be an average of the 3
you
years?
still have it. There's a lot of changes out there in the state right now, as far as property taxes. Don't know what it's gonna look like here in the next 2 years.
Right.
With all the different changes. So as a park district, we just gotta really, and any public entity, you just need to be really careful and watching out, for everything.
So is it going to be an average of the last 3 years, Brian? Is that how they're looking at it? That,
It's,
so wherever inflation was and,
It can be no greater than the sum of the previous 3 years.
okay.
And so I don't
So
know.
it sounds to me that might be
Yeah,
average.
I don't know what that number is right now, do you?
No,
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, and how would that, if we were to get this, if this is in effect now, is that a increase or a reduction?
It would be,
An
well,
increase.
with the next evaluation, it'd be an increase.
It would be
It
an
won't be
Because we're
big,
coming off 3
yes.
years of high.
Yeah, that's what I was asking because we're coming off.
Perfect, we'll just,
Yeah, that'd be
we
beneficial.
obviously don't wanna hope inflation continues.
Well, no, of course not, but
But it.
that's why I was
If
asking
it
about
happens, it happens.
whether it carries over 3 years.
I just wanted to give an update on that.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
Thank you, Brian. All right, next is ODOT funding. Kim? Well, that's submitted by you. It's Mike. So sorry, Mike. We
Sorry.
I'll take that one.
No, we even talked about, it says submitted by Kim. Sorry about that. My bad. Go
That's
ahead.
right. Todd Palmeter with Great Parks, Chief Operating Officer of Great Park, he reached out to Kim last month and let us know that Great Parks would like us to use our allotment of the Metro Parks funding, which is supplied by ODOT. OPRA is facilitates the program. It goes down to the local park district here in Hamilton County. It's facilitated by Great Parks, Hamilton County. And
So this is like free money.
it's, so we've used this money in the past.
Free money's never free. There will be some strings and some hoops, I'm
Right,
sure.
but we've been kind of keeping it,
And saving it up.
yeah.
So it's biannual, but we try to use our allotment every few years to make it a major project that it can affect. And in the past, we've done projects like Johnson Hills parking lot and Clear Creek, some work at Clear Creek parking lot as well. So this year, they're ready for us to use our allotment. Now we've saved as long as we can. So they want us to move forward with a project. I need to reach out with them to Todd and let him know what project we're gonna use it on. So my thought process is to use it. It has to be used on park drives or parking lots. So since we're in like I mentioned earlier, we're completing restroom building and the ADA access. We promised in the capital improvement levy a parking lot renovation. So this would help with that parking lot renovation. I don't have the final figures, but I think this will be close to being able to complete that. We might have to come back to you later in the year to add some more capital funds to finish up the whole project. I'll let you know that later on, but I recommend we move forward and let Hamilton County Great Parks know that we would like to use it for Labyrinth Park.
Richard?
Yeah, I mean, this is a grant that we used at the township as well, and we would let it sit. We would say no, a year or two, build it up, because while it is, they would prefer you take it and use it every year. At 25,000, there are not a lot of projects you can pull off at that amount. So how many times have you said no, Mike, already?
No, never.
No, you haven't.
They want it out of the
Okay,
account.
so, but it's not,
in this
79,000?
Yeah, I was gonna tell
no,
you.
you said we've let it build up.
We've let it build up.
It's two. I think this is the twice now. This is the third
Yeah.
biannual.
Right, okay.
So
So
it's now.
Now we
7.
have enough, we can look at a project and we can,
Yes.
I think you and I had a brief discussion. I don't have the measurements for Laverty. It would seem to me we could get close to doing
Yeah.
an overlay on that parking lot for that money.
Yeah.
Close to it. We may have to add some funds to it.
Yeah. And so everybody's clear. It's $79,150.97
To be exact.
to be exact. So I think it's a great add to our capital levy. It'll help stretch that, and I think it's going to be great to finish that complete project at Laverty, and we can move on to the future planning of others.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Do we have action on that later?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
an approval.
Thank you. All right. Next is Operations Division update.
So this is kind of new. I'm going to have each month, each department give an update on what happened the month before. I know you guys are used to me giving the capital improvement. This will just be straight operational. But what I'm looking at with this is it's just for an opportunity for each department to inform the board and the public on what's taken place in their department over the last month. A lot of times we look forward here at the board meetings, and I want to use this as an opportunity. I think I told Julie and Amy when we met this last week, as an opportunity to highlight some employees as well. Give a little accolades to some of our employees that do great work for the park district and the public at large. So also, it could be that we've tried things and they didn't work, and we're moving in a different direction. I want everybody to know, hey, there's a lot of process that goes on with Justice Department, administratively and operationally. We try things. When they don't work out, we go on to the next thing. And I just want to be open and honest so people see us evolve like that. And that's the thought process around this.
Okay.
So this month, I'm going to do the operations report. There was snow on multiple occasions this month, which is a little unusual for December, a lot more than normal. Operations staff came in very early on a couple of occasions. In fact, on one occasion, Scott Adamson, one of our lead employee, he was up at 3 a.m., got other staff up. They're in trying to get ahead of the snow before staff comes in and patrons are using our trails and walks and things like that. It's not good on equipment for let the snow build up until the finish. So we wanted to make sure, because that was a heavier snow. Other crew members there were Ryan, Brian. Others came in later at normal time, but I want you guys to know those employees don't get anything extra from the park district. They don't get overtime for that. Usually they take off later in the week. It's outside their normal shift, but they happily do it because they love what they do and they're dedicated to the park district. So I wanted to thank Scott and the crew there. Other people, Alex, now later in the month, I was sick and off for a few days with an illness, COVID, and Alex and Al, they picked up the slack on snow events that were a little smaller later in the month. But I wanted to highlight those employees this month because they did a great job last month. Last month is the holidays and vacations, usually around Christmas. So all of our staff worked as a team, part-time and full-time, to make sure all the shifts and duties that we do daily are taken care of. So our staff is doing a great job. Winter service is going for all Park District major equipment. Every piece gets serviced throughout the winter to make sure that it's ready for the spring. So all that stuff is ongoing this month as well. Landscaping continues on, and that's ongoing throughout the year. Anytime we can landscape and be outside, we're outside doing it. That's just a highlight of December. That doesn't count all the other capital project things. Drinking fountains that I didn't bring up, that our full-time staff's installing at Riverside to be a part of the Ball Diamond project down there. There's a new drinking fountain in the center wheel out there that I know everybody will enjoy. It has a bottle filler on it.
Yeah, that's
Teams will be able to enjoy it.
time.
I think it'll be one of the nicest amenities we've added in a while down there. So that's the operational report for the month. So that's just kind of the direction I wanted to go.
Awesome, thank you.
Ask me a question. I don't mean to steal your thunder if you were saving this for another time, and I don't think you talked about it earlier. I met with Dom Wolfer in December in the youth baseball organization he's involved in. They were talking about donating batting cages to Riverside. Did you or Kim happen to?
I did. I had a meeting with Scott Lausten and myself, met with Anderson Township Youth Sports, and I was saving it a little bit for probably next month, but I'll go ahead. No, they Anderson Township Youth Sports wanted to look at how they could help partner with us as an organization to add public batting cages at Riverside Park. They want to know they have $35,000 as an organization. They want to know what that would get the public if they were to donate that. Let them know that it would be a totally public facility, first come, first serve. They asked if we would rent it or what we would do. I told them in a facility like a batting cage like that, it would probably not work to rent, so it would definitely just be a first come, first serve. So my job is to kind of see what $35,000 is going to do and then report back to them to see if they do want to partner up on that moving forward. And I will report that back to you guys.
Awesome.
The weather kind of hit us hard right around the Santa event, so we did move him inside. He actually was in this room.
He is from the North Pole, you know.
I know. Everybody was
kids
really happy about the move except for Santa. He was a little.
It's hot in here, yeah.
So it's an adjustment that we're definitely going to consider going forward, kind of keeping it indoors. Just, we were able to start setting up much earlier in the week and whatnot. So it was a good thing, and we'll talk about that in the future. Holiday camp went great. Tara took the lead with guidance from Lauren on that one. Our biggest challenge was just keeping everyone healthy during flu season, staff-wise. So we had some summer camp counselors who were obviously back in town and off school, and they came out and they helped out. Our 4th through 6th grade boys basketball and KBA started in December. Our boys league is about halfway through their season already, which is kind of crazy to think about. They continue to play on Fridays and Saturdays into February, and then KBA plays on Sundays. And we also, with KBA right now, we help them because they have to practice still at Forest Hill School District gyms. We do help them navigate that system to reserve that time and work. We're kind of the liaison between the school district and KBA organization. So Lauren really takes the lead with that, and I appreciate that very much. So yeah, 17 4th through 6th grade boys basketball teams, and KBA has 24 teams right now, so that's pretty exciting. As we started in January 5th, we opened registration for our daddy-daughter dance and girls volleyball. So that's 3rd through 6th grade girls. We already have over 300 participants registered for the dance, and our volleyball filled. The 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade actually filled within 24 hours. And then our 6th grade filled yesterday. So we are capped again at 24 teams. We had 24 teams last year as well, it just didn't fill up that quickly. So now we enter the phase of trying to recruit parent coaches for those teams. So again, Lauren kind of takes the lead with that one, so she's been really trying to talk some parents into helping out. So we also are really trying to recruit volleyball referees. I've been interviewing like some officials, and these typically tend to be high school age or college. But that is one of the more challenging things, whether it's basketball or volleyball, is to find referees to actually help us officiate the games. So that is kind of one of those things I've been working on now for a couple weeks,
Do
actually.
they have to have any kind of required training to be a rep?
Yeah. Within the sport, yes. Now,
I mean, that we impose, like that we say you have to have.
yes,
Okay.
it's mostly experience.
Okay,
Because our leagues are very recreational,
right.
there's a lot of hands-on training that can happen, and I have, actually one of my basketball referees also refs volleyball, and I have him do some hands-on training
Okay.
with some of the refs who've never really run a game before.
Okay.
When are the volleyball games?
What'd you say? Sorry?
When are the games that need refs?
They're
When
on
do they play?
Friday nights and Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay,
Are you a ref?
my in-laws are,
Oh, how cute is that?
but we also have basketball games.
Okay. Jess, I interrupted you, I'm
No,
sorry.
you're good.
Go ahead.
Email me, Amy, if you're
Okay.
Yeah, and then we also right now are really heavy in our programming. Our spring summer park guide is in production. Monica and I have most programming kind of set through August, and then even through the end of the year already. So we're really, that park guide will hit homes, I wanna say like the week of March 9th. So that'll be here before we know it. And then I know Leah has been kind of getting a lot of shelter reservations already rolling through the front office. So that's, even though it's cold out, people are thinking about their summer, so handling that.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Daddy-daughter dance, I want to highlight that again. Make sure if you know somebody, because there is a hard cap on it, right?
Yep.
So make sure if you know somebody wants to go, make sure you tell them now. So the hard cap hits, that's kind of it.
And that's always a
Hit.
That's a
widely successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big.
And are we still doing it at
Thank you.
in KU?
Yep,
Okay,
And what
and
was the
we
time?
rent the facility for there?
we do.
Yes. How does that event do financially?
Really well. I have last year's numbers here. I don't have this year's, but
Just give me approximate.
I want to say well, it's right here. And I don't have my right eyes on, so.
That's okay. I understand that.
Net, there's a couple, like, well, that looks like it was like around 1,000.
Okay,
So again, our goal is always to make sure we break even,
I understand.
and
And
that, and
yes, that's the goal.
all that good stuff, so.
Yeah.
But even in renting the facility, having it off grounds and all that, we're able to at least
And that is
break
very
even or, actually come ahead.
Yes, but that's very specific towards time that we charge the event is day of
Absolutely,
event, yeah.
yes. I understand that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
It's from 6 to 8, Julie.
thank you. The last report we have is the administrative division updated. Kim, is that you?
Yeah, so if you didn't know, administration is the funnest division. Finance, HR, throw in a little marketing. So yeah, it's
But you sleep well at night.
certainly do, man. It's like a baby. Joke about it, but it is still a very important part of the park district. I know Brian's been working really hard on finishing up the end of the year budget, finances, and now he's got the fun task of all the W-2s, all and making sure that everybody's taxes get taken care of. So we really appreciate Brian every single day, especially every other Friday. But then, so in HR, like things will be picking up a little bit. We're going to be hiring some camp counselors, hopefully not as many as in the past. We do have a new software that we started last year, UKG, just to try to make things just a little bit more efficient, so that way people apply online and we are able to go through everything digitally. It was great to get it last spring and learn all about it last spring and over the summer, but now we actually have to use it, and it's like, okay, have to kind of dig back through all the training and stuff like that. So it's kind of another relearning process. And then again, we're working through Diligent Community, which will change up for next month. But I think I'm ready to go with all of that. So we'll kind of work through that very slowly, but I think that'll be a great experience for both the board and the community. One of the other things that kind of popped up, and this was through House Bill 96, through the state auditor, they require political subdivisions to set and adopt standards safeguarding against cybersecurity threats and ransomware attacks. So we're starting to put together a program. So like staff has looked at it a little bit, be sending it off to, so we use Vitus Technologies. They help us with IT, and then to our legal counsel, make sure everything is set. But then there'll be a resolution probably in April that you guys will have to adopt the program. We can share the program with you, but it won't be out there because we don't want the public knowing, kind of like, not because we're not transparent, but because when you're dealing with cybersecurity and the threats, it's something that we're just going to kind of keep close to our chest. But a lot of it is like, what kind of training and what we're doing as far as that, and if God forbid something were to happen. So
Good to know.
that'll be kind of finishing up. And then just, I don't know if anybody's aware, you might see him. We were talking about the organization chart. Eric Pryor, he's a park monitor. The guy is absolutely amazing. So he's the one who goes out to the dog fields. He goes out to all the athletic fields. Make sure that people, if you're on the field, that you're supposed to have a permit. If we have incidents at the dog field, he takes care of those. So as much as I really enjoy chatting with him and like our interactions, when he calls, it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
So, but he used to be a Cincinnati policeman. So he's been with us for I think like 10 years, and he has no problem with conflict. He's got, he kind of knows all the people in the dog field. That's usually where we have the most incidents. But then he'll pick up things in the springtime.
Not the pickleball courts.
I've asked him to go through the pickleball courts.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke. Those pickleball people.
It is a joke, but it's actually real. So it's just like another kind of nuance to the system that probably people aren't really aware of, that we do have somebody going around and making sure that everybody is behaving themselves.
I see him in his car all over the place
He,
during the day.
he's like I said, he's great.
Seems like he's everywhere.
Yeah, yep.
Teleports.
And he's like, he's pretty quiet too, which is just like, I appreciate, but you're like, oof, I really don't want to be on the receiving end of
The quiet ones are the most deadly.
for sure. So that's kind of like on the administrative side that we're at.
Can I point out just one more thing? One of the first purchase requisitions I signed was Becky Erickson worked real hard to, I believe it was for ADA access for our website. She worked real hard for cost cutting savings there with, I can't remember the exact amount. Do you remember, Brian?
The savings from last year, not the exact amount, but it's cyber-wise that we're using.
Yeah, so it was considerable savings. So I just wanted to
I'm
point
sorry,
her out.
cost cutting savings for where?
We have a company that facilitates ADA access
got
for our
it.
website
Got
and
it.
stuff like that, and she would help find a great deal for the
Okay.
park district there. So.
Becky is something. She's
Yeah.
special. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're on to public commentary. I need to read a little, does anyone need a little break? I feel like somebody's getting up.
I'm gonna take a.
All right, I will read this while you're gone. Is
Yes.
that okay with you?
Yeah, I'll be
All
right back.
Okay.
Oh, very easy.
This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners for the purpose of conducting the Anderson Park District's business in public. This meeting is not a public hearing. That is, members of the public do not have a right to speak unless the board invites them to do so. Individuals who would like to share their opinions or comments concerning the topic should, first, sign in on the attendance sheet at the door. You will be recognized by the board president during public commentary or at the discretion of the board president. That's how we recognized Luke earlier. Second, remarks should be addressed to the board as a group and be within a 5-minute time limit. If several people wish to speak on the same topic, the time limit may be adjusted at the president's discretion. And third, be prepared to respond to questions from board members seeking to clarify the issue. So, I think the first person that we have is Mike. Mike, could you pronounce your last name for me, please?
Stoehr.
Stoehr?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
If you would just give us 1 second until Richard comes
Sure.
back.
No problem.
So he'll be back just in a second. And you know what, wherever you're comfortable, if you're comfortable staying there, stay there. If you'd rather
I'll just stay here, that's fine.
stand.
The room's small enough that.
Yeah, no, I
See
mean,
everybody,
yeah.
okay?
We don't have a podium today, so
Yeah.
we're happy to have you there. So this is Mr. Mike Stoehr who is going to address us.
I'm Mike Stoehr. I've been living in Anderson Township for over 40 years and raised my kids here and went to Anderson Days and know the times when it was multiple day event and won a turkey there one time, so.
Turkey?
My mom and we just
Was
ate
it alive?
It was a fried turkey.
Oh.
It was submerged in, it had Cajun spices in it, so I had fond memories of that. But on the other hand, on the other hand, I was here last month and listening to the commentaries about Anderson Days and not knowing that it has evolved into its current challenges. Just thought, I wanted to say something last month, but I hadn't already signed up, so I thought I'd say something now. I don't understand, I guess what I'm trying to say is, we went from having Anderson Days, now all of a sudden we've got Oktoberfest, which is also kind of supported by the parks, and we got the Fireman's Festival back, which is a public event, not necessarily sponsored by the parks. But we went from one event to now we've got 3 in the community that we've talked about, and I'm sure there's other ones. But those events, especially from a sponsorship standpoint, you went from one event that had good sponsorship, and now you've gone to 3 events that need sponsorship, and some of those sponsors are leaving Anderson Days. Some of them aren't happy because they didn't have the attendance figures that they thought they would and the exposure. And when I found out that we were losing $27,000 in park hours that were being put, that the park had to spend to put on Anderson Days, and the foundation lost $12,000 last year, and now we're losing the sponsorship for the $15,000 that was for the fireworks that were held. It's just like, that was not, I think, what people bought into with Anderson Days, or Anderson Day now. And, we're supposed to be good stewards of money. I voted for the levy, but the thing is that financially, this sounds like it's, when you're talking $40,000 or $55,000, that's a big drag on a budget, okay? And unless unless new sponsors are identified, the cost can be cut, the foundation can do something to raise more money or volunteers. It just seems like it's kind of like beating a dead horse here, okay? And not that I want to see Anderson Days go away, or Anderson Day, but the point is that you've got something that, the parks are great, and the money that comes in from the taxpayer shouldn't be going to something that's not well attended, okay, or that's losing money. So unless you can turn us around, I'm saying, I'd like to see it, but there's other things that money can be used for within the parks. And I just don't see how we can continue to sustain this. And the way I understand it, the attendance has been going down through the years as far as what the community, how much community support you get. And if you're not pulling in as many people to it, there's something wrong there. And I know we talked about the heat last year. So we do have climate change we're dealing with, but then maybe move the event to a cooler month or combine it with Oktoberfest. And I think you said you looked at that, but Oktoberfest is traditionally a family event, okay? They have games, they have goodwill races and things like that that are done, and it's a full day event. You can still keep it as a day, but doggone it, rides and those types of things, that pulls people out. And if you get the fireworks, that could work too. Other people have told me, well, why don't they take it and put the fireworks tied in with 4th of July parade? So that's another idea. But the point is that I just don't see how, unless you can turn it around this year, that you continue to throw money at something that you've been losing money, maybe not as much as last year, but you've been losing money over the course of the last decade or so. So I would just say, think hard about it. And if this can't be turned around and the board votes yes for it, if it can't be turned around this year, I just don't see how you can continue as a commissioner and that to continue to pour money into something that is not self-sufficient. I mean, even if it lost $10,000, at least that's a lot better than 50, in my book. So break even, I think you said you wanted to break even, and I think that's an admirable goal. If you can make money at it, that's great. But that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you for your well-reasoned argument and your kind approach. The one thing that we didn't talk about tonight, and I just want to remind everybody of this. Fireman's Festival, we had zero idea it was going to happen. It just came out of nowhere, and it did affect us. And for some of the very reasons you said, sponsorships, and Amy too, sponsorships are thin, budgets are tight, but that did not help us at all. And one of the things that we have been talking about, Kim and I have had 2 meetings with Vicki Earhart and Lexi Lausten from the township, and those meetings are going to continue now, I think, with different people involved. But one of the things we were talking about is those 3, how they interact and why we have all 3 of them.
Right.
It's still sort of a mystery to me personally how the Fireman's Festival got reborn. I think I know, doesn't really matter probably, but again, information ahead of time would have helped us with planning, I think.
Yeah, it's just, in my opinion, it's just another thing that's pulling money away from the Anderson Days or pulling money away from potential sponsorships. And there's only so much money that can be pulled out of the community, okay? So you have to look at that as well. You can't just say, oh, go out and get another sponsor. Well, maybe you can, and maybe you can identify it, or maybe somebody will leave, $1 million.
And maybe we'll have a new sponsor that is working with Kim.
But I mean, it does come down to finances.
Yeah.
And when you're talking tens of thousands or half $150,000, that to me is significant, and that you could do lots of more things with it within the park system.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
All right.
Appreciate it. The next person that we have is Betsy Moore. Betsy?
Thank you. I'm just gonna stay right here too. Everybody can hear me, I think. If you can't hear me, please speak up. I also want to try to clarify a few things, and primarily that's Anderson Day. Last year, Amy Broghamer in particular was all about getting public input on the future of Beech Acres, and specifically the future of the former Beech Acres Parenting Center property. Countless hours were spent on the community engagement survey with open houses, focus groups, committee meetings, online and mailed surveys, etc. The community made their voice heard loud and clear. It's more recreation amenities and opportunities that this community wants. Recreation amenities and facilities. Now, all of a sudden, at last month's park board meeting, we're in a lengthy discussion about Anderson Day. It started with the request for the staff subsidy and escalated into a complete financial analysis of the event. Here's the question. Where's the public input now when it comes to the discussion of the potential cancellation of Anderson's premier community event? Why isn't public input important now? The Anderson Park District Board of Commissioners works for the residents, AKA the taxpayers of Anderson Township. These same residents just handed this board a brand new 10-year operating levy via a 67% affirming vote. That levy includes funding for many things: park maintenance, staff-related expenses, and recreational programming, to name a few. Yes, Anderson Day is, at least in theory, put on by the Anderson Foundation for Parks and Recreation, but we all know the majority of the event labor involved is provided by Anderson Park District staff. It is incumbent upon this board and APD staff that they are truly listening to our residents. It is also incumbent upon this board and APD staff that they're being transparent and providing communication of this discussion to the public, and that has not been the case so far. Let's dig a little deeper into the Anderson Day situation. We clearly understand that the event loses money each year. Sponsorships have been snatched away, the weather often affects attendance, and it does require the board to approve a staff subsidy for all of the time spent to run the event. It's also well documented that the township hasn't contributed significantly to the event in the past. They might provide the shuttle buses and/or some law enforcement personnel. Now, on top of all of this, we have an interim executive director, Mike Smith, who shared with us last month that he isn't in favor of continuing Anderson Day. So we have to wonder, if Anderson Day is on the chopping block, what else is on the chopping block? Are we going to nickel and dime every program? Again, this board should be well aware that Anderson Park District is not a corporation. They're not manufacturing widgets or needing to make a profit. They're in the business of providing services, events, programs, fields, and spaces for all of us to enjoy. And they routinely do it within their budget. In fact, they've been honored for their transparency via an award from the Ohio Auditor of State, receiving the Outstanding Achievement Open and Transparent Government Award for the 2022-2023 audit period. You can see it propped up against the wall in the back. And it's only one of many. So let's get back to the business of promoting and steering this park district on the path to success. Success for our community, success for this park district and its staff, success for all of us. This community won't tolerate any more missteps or not so hidden agendas. The community made its voice heard loud and clear in 2025, both at the ballot box and in the community engagement survey. Recreation and parks are more than important to all of us. Recreation and parks are the backbone of this community. Park board, are you listening? Really listening? Because this community can read your actions loud and clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to jump in front of the camera?
I prefer to be behind it.
Okay.
I'm just getting an over the shoulder shot here.
Okay.
I wanted to speak tonight in support of Anderson Day. Not because I personally use it every year, because a lot of times it's when I take family vacation and I'm not in town. But because it's a community events like this are a public service, not a business. At the last meeting, there was a lot of discussion about profitability. I want to respectfully push back on the idea that profit should be the primary measure of success for a community festival. Value does not equal profit. If it did, many public services we'd all depend on wouldn't exist. I grew up in Fairfield, Ohio, where we had a similar community event called Indian Summer Days. It ran for decades and brought people together from surrounding neighborhoods. It ended in 2008, and now all that's left is nostalgia and a bunch of photos from that event. There's nothing like it anymore. I don't want Anderson Day to become another story like that. I've spent over a decade working for nonprofit organizations, and in that world, success isn't measured only by revenue, it's measured by mission. Did we bring people together? Did we serve our community? Did we create something meaningful? By those standards, Anderson Day matters. It matters to the people who make it a tradition every year. I may not attend every event I pay for through my taxes, but I still support them because I care about the people who do. Community cohesion, especially right now, is worth investing in instead of further siloing people. Let's bring them together. I urge the board to view Anderson Day through a community lens, not a balance sheet, and explore creative funding and sponsorship options. If that's with the charitable foundation for the parks, I forget the name of it. Anyway, if they need to get more creative with funding, let's do that. If we need to see more attendance, let's focus on advertising it more. Let's focus on getting people here. And let's not eliminate a tradition that so many residents value. And that's all I had prepared, but I had a question about Daddy-Daughter Day. So we rent a spot at NKU. Has anybody looked into possibly getting a donated venue, or if we have a larger community center, would that possibly be a better place to hold an event like this where the parks own it and don't have to pay rent and can have the event there, and that's more of this this profitability that you're focused on. But yeah, I mean, if it's a possibility to have it in-house, would that
Yeah, that would be a great idea, and I remember when you all went to, it was before I was on the board, to NKU, and maybe that's a conversation you want to have with Mr. Martin separately. I don't know how that all came about, or we can, if you know now, and we can take a couple minutes just to talk and maybe have a follow-up conversation outside of this room. I don't want to, are you comfortable, Jess?
I mean, the
Yeah.
history of it, we started out, we rented the senior center and we rented Turpin Cafeteria. And we outgrew that in 1 year. And then, so we then had to go down to the Starlight Ballroom, which was kind of, we rented that facility because we were at that point 900 people.
Okay.
Like it just kept growing and we added days, all of that good stuff. So we're at NKU because it is a facility that can actually hold 500 people.
Yeah.
And it's nice, it's not a gym, you know,
Yeah.
it's a nice place.
I've been every year. My daughter's been old enough, so I really like it. It's a great event.
Yeah, and it's close. It really, I mean, we did a lot of research to figure out what's kind of close. You don't have to drive too far, and that you have to go over a bridge, but that's about it. So, absolutely, we've always talked about if we had the right facility, and even if it was a gym, it would have to be a really large gym that we could make look nice, and that's costs a lot of money too. So, that's where we are with it.
And then also, I haven't known in the past about volunteer opportunities at Anderson Day. So now that I know,
we have your name, your phone number and address, right? Yeah.
sign me up.
Kim's writing your name down right now. Yeah. No, and it's fun. I mean, a lot of the guys, and I don't mean this to seem as gender-based as I'm making it, but a lot of people like to pour beer. It's a fun thing to pour beer, right? To do the beer, because people are happy in the beer line and they're telling you stories and so I mean, but there's ample opportunity to do multiple things. Same,
All the
same,
games for kids or
same thing
whatever.
same thing at Oktoberfest, so we have you down as a potential. Thank you. Thank you for coming. All right, I think we are done. Yes, is there anyone else who said no, wants to change to yes about speaking? Okay, no. Next is, board comments. Anyone? Quiet group, are we talked out? Okay. Alrighty. Next is, request for approval.
All right, I'll get us started here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The first
Thank
one
you.
is, we've got several resolutions this month. The first one is resolution 2026-01, certificate of all sources. I request a motion to approve this resolution. This is approving the cash balance for the end of 25 and the amount available for expenditures for 26 as presented.
Is there a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion to accept it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion? Richard?
Yes, Brian, reiterate, this fulfills a state mandate to report
Yes.
this and a county mandate?
And the county. So tomorrow morning, I'll be sending this to the county office.
Perfect. So I mean, it is what it is and we have to do.
Correct.
Next, 2020, oh, my bad, I'm skipping ahead, sorry.
Try. Mr. Rosa,
Yes.
Mr. Shelley,
Yes.
Ms. Bissinger,
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer,
Yes. Stop.
Mr. Commerford.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have resolution 2026-02 annual appropriation.
All right, this also goes to the county tomorrow. This is the annual appropriation resolutions as presented for this year.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-2. It's written.
I will second it.
Any discussion? Kim?
Mr. Rosa,
Yes.
Mr. Shelley,
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger,
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer,
Yes.
Mr. Commerford.
Yes.
All right, next is the APD budget draft 2026.
All right, this is the budget with had the previous two resolutions numbers in it, but broken down further. This is approved this year's budget. The only changes from last month, the sale of bond note will go down to 8 million compared to 8.2 million. We had money left over in Riverside Park Capital, 64,269. That's put in this side for capital to finish up the Riverside project. The contingencies increased from 80,000 to 110, and the refunds increased from 6,000 to 12,000. And then, of course, the main difference is the carryover increased with not spending as much at the end of the year.
Okay. Thank you for those explanations. Is there a motion to approve the draft budget 2026?
Motion to approve resolution 2026-2. I'm sorry, 2026, period.
APP
Mhm.
budget. Second.
Any discussion? Kim?
Mr. Rosa,
Yes.
Mr. Shelley,
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger,
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer,
Yes.
Mr. Commerford.
Yes.
All right, next resolution 2026-03 APD bond note issuance.
This is for our bond issuance, a resolution providing the issuance not to exceed $8 million of bond anticipation notes by the Anderson Township Park District for the purpose of paying for the cost of acquiring, construction, and installing equipment of certain park facilities in the Park District. This is from our previous note. As you can see, the last year's note was 8.5 million. We're paying down 500,000. This one's for 8 million for this year.
Is there a motion?
You want to read the motion or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Motion to approve resolution 2026-3 Anderson Park District bond notes issuance. A resolution providing for the issuance of and not to exceed 8 million of bond anticipated notes by the Anderson Township Park District for the purpose of paying for the cost of acquiring, construction, installing, and equipment certain park facilities in the Park District.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? No?
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
Next is Resolution 2026-04, letter of engagement with LGS.
This is our annual letter of engagement with local government services. They're with the state auditor. What they do is they come in and provide us services. They look over our financials and help with financial statements that we provide for the year end.
How long are they here for? A week or so? 2 weeks? A month?
They only show up for like actually one day. Most of
Oh,
the stuff
geez.
now is
Okay.
It's
virtual. I mean,
Okay.
now, years ago, like even for the audit, so
They used to come in
2
boxes
weeks,
and,
But
yeah.
now everything, when you have your annual audit, we'll have ours this year sometime. I don't know when that will be. But a lot of it's just done by scanning and sending a lot of the documents. They come on site for a couple of days, but not like 10 years ago when they'd be here for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no,
Camp out,
that's good. Right, you have to camp out, yeah. I move to adopt Resolution 2026-04, letter of engagement with local government services, LGS.
Second.
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
ODOT funding, Mike?
This is just the approval of what we talked about earlier, the acceptance of $79,150.97 in Metro Park funding. And just gives me the authority to send a letter to Hamilton County Park District requesting those funds.
And we're specific about this motion because it is transportation-related funds, correct?
It is only transportation-related funds.
Thank you, Mike.
I make a motion to approve the acceptance of ODOT Park District Road Implementation Program funding.
Second.
Kim?
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
Okay, whoever wants to talk a lot, can make a motion. We'll hear from, I guess it's, Brian, right?
Yes.
And then the person who makes the motion has to say all those things, so, there you go. So Brian, you wanna
All right,
tell
I'll
us?
go through. The first one is Duke Energy. It's for gas and electric for the year. It's for $110,000.
All
Next.
facilities?
What?
All facilities?
All of our.
Thank you.
Next one is GCWW for water and sewer for $61,000. Wex Bank, which is our fuel, for $67,000. Aetna for healthcare, $320,000. The Highland Group, which is our Ohio Plan Liability Insurance, $87,000. The Sheriff at Hamilton County, our Sheriff Resource Officer, $147,000. Porter Clean is the portable restrooms throughout all the parks throughout the year, $37,000. Anderson Hills Kiwanis for KBA reimbursements for the end of '26, we're anticipating around $26,000. JP Morgan Chase is the 2023 bond payment, which is the purchase of Beech Acres. That's for $389,808. Cybervise, which Mike talked about earlier in this meeting, that's for the ADA website and WordPress for the year and support, $7,100. Next one is the American Ramp Company. And this is for the Clear Creek Bike Park that we talked about. This is through Capital, $564,200. And then Placer Labs Incorporated. It's a Placer AI location-based service that will help with grants and other areas throughout the parks for $10,000 for the year.
All right, is there a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the following budgeted purchase orders. Duke Energy, gas and electric, $110,000. GCWW, water and sewer, $61,000. Wex Bank Fuel, $67,000. Aetna Healthcare, $320,000. Highland Group, Ohio Plan Liability Insurance, $87,000. Sheriff of Hamilton County, Sheriff Resource Officer, $147,000. Porter Clean portable restrooms, $37,000. Anderson Hills Kiwanis, KVA reimbursements, $26,000. JP Morgan Chase, $223 bond payment, $389,808. Cybervise ADA website and WordPress, $7,100. American Ramp Company, Clear Creek Bike Park, $564,200. Placer Labs Inc., Placer AI location-based service, $10,000.
Second.
Of course you did.
That's so funny.
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
All right, and then there's a purchase order for a single item.
Yes, we're gonna have to, this first one, and the reason these are broken up is just to make sure, at any time a board might have a conflict of interest, we separate these out. This is for Dinsmore and Scholl, for legal services for $30,000 for the year.
I'll make a motion to approve the budgeted purchase order for Dinsmore and Scholl LLP, legal services, $30,000.
Second.
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Abstain?
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
Next is a purchase order for Fifth Third Bank.
This is for the 2023-24 equipment lease purchase. It's for $119,526 at Third Bank.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget purchase order for Fifth Third Bank, 2023-24 equipment lease purchase, $119,526.
Second.
Mr. Rosa?
You can't. Yes. Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
What about me?
I was gonna get you. Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Abstain?
Now I understand.
That's so funny, yeah.
I thought you were trying to trick him a little bit.
Yeah, so did I.
So on Anderson
No, I missed
Day,
that
I'd like to make a motion on Anderson Day. I'll make the motion that the Park District support Anderson Day for 2026 with staff as needed, with the two provisos of we do everything we can to reduce the costs of Anderson Day. And secondly, we work in partnership with the foundation to reimagine Anderson Day for 2027 and beyond.
I'd second that.
Any more discussion? Thank you.
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
No.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
No.
Mr. Commerford?
No.
All right, the motion fails. We will have to prepare a message to the community. And I will help, and I think the board will help in any way that we can. And thank you for the discussion. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration, and we'll move forward.
And Julie, I don't see this as we have voted no tonight because we have to give a direction on the budget and staff going forward. If some way this can come out where it can be fully supported, it can obviously be brought back up and looked at again. But when I say fully supported, I mean, fully supported or at least close to it. If that gap was a little shorter, I'd feel differently.
Well, people aren't gonna support a non-existent event. I mean, I don't know what that
Well,
even
what I'm saying
means.
is if everybody rouses up and says, oh, we're gonna have it, we're gonna pay for it, we're gonna do this, fine, let's bring it back up. But it's not what I'm saying is it's not an irrevocable decision.
Well, what the
Would you agree with that?
what the foundation said the other night, correct me if I'm wrong, guys that were there, Kevin, Mike, Kim, we support it, foundation supports it, we meaning the foundation. If the park district doesn't support us with staff, it's dead.
Okay.
That's what I believe is gonna happen.
So it's dead.
Okay.
All right,
Financial reports.
review financial reports.
All right, looking at the revenue status for the end of the year, we were dead on at the end of the year with the amended certificate. We're at 100.115% for the year end, what we budgeted. And then appropriation status, we spent almost 9% less than what was budgeted. That's why the carryover was greater. For the minutes certificate.
That's a good thing.
Yes,
All
it's
right.
always a good thing.
Brian, what is the increase, if you will, in this year's budget compared to last?
This year's budget compared to last,
Yes, sir.
I've got to go back to the budget. It's at least $1 million
And that is primarily capital related
capital,
Yeah.
with the levy.
improvements?
Yeah.
Oh, our bond renote and,
Yeah. bond
okay,
repairs and also proceeds.
okay.
All right, any other questions on that? Authorization of expenditures, Brian.
Just highlight a couple things from the cash journal. Beginning of December, for the most group, as you looked at that picture there, we spent $777,634 to the most group, part of their purchase order for the Riverside baseball and softball fields. And then also we talked about Kiwanis earlier. We gave them they got their reimbursement check from us from their registrations on the 12th. And that was for $24,795 for Kiwanis.
Thank you, Brian. I move that we approve the financial reports and authorize the expenditures as presented.
Second?
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes,
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
so we have two sets of minutes for approval tonight. First is November 6th of 2025. We had a correction from last time, so is there a motion to approve the November 6th minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the November 6th, 2025 regular meeting as written.
Second?
Kim?
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Which I don't
Were
think I
you
was
there?
here, so I will
No.
abstain.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. Go ahead, you can ask me.
Oh, sorry. Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes,
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
thank you. Is there a motion for approval of December 9th minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 9th, 2025 regular meeting as written.
Second?
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Abstain.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
We're just talking about comfort. So I'm going to make a motion and then we're going to take a quick break. I move that we go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, the sale of property at competitive bidding, or the sale of other disposition of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property in accordance with section 505.10 of the Ohio Revised Code. That's good enough.
Who are you bringing in? Invite?
I think just Mike, right? I don't think we need Brian. Mike and I talked in the hall ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't think we need Brian or Kim. I also think there's a small part of the executive session that we will need just the board in, without Mike. So that's how we're gonna go, with just Mike, please, invite Mike.
Second?
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Rosa?
Yes.
Mr. Shelley?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissinger?
Yes.
Ms. Broghamer?
Yes.
Mr. Commerford?
Yes.
Hey Jess, will you email me the volleyball schedule?
I don't get it.
Okay,
So all I knew,
So,
do you know when it
in
starts?
reference to
yeah, it's like Friday night, is
description
the
of,
time frame. Saturday is the time frame.
Are they already
our
happening?
systems sever.
Okay, can you tell me
I
when
would-
it starts?
Yeah.
Okay.
My-
Past life.
Nice meeting you. Actually, I hope,
Probably 6 years
we're gonna
ago
meet
now,
on.
We'll talk.
we had decided
I'll talk to them.
13th, and I
to
look
close
forward
our
to that.
entire
I'm
system
excited about working with you.